Friday Night Smackdown starts off with John Cena cutting an intense promo, just thanking the Chicago crowd. He basically goes on and on and on, thanking the Chicago crowd, mentioning all the memories he had of the Chicago crowd, saying that the best crowd in wrestling, and gives them props because this is his last time being in Chicago, and he wants to make it a moment. You get Sami Zayn, he interrupts, he comes out. And then he ends up basically he thanks John Cena. He ends up mentioning the memories between him and John, mentioning that John Cena was his first official match for the U.S. Championship for his U.S. Open the Open Challenge for the U.S. title, and then he ends up asking John Cena permission to do the Open Challenge for the United States Championship, and he wants to repay John by giving him an opportunity for the United States Championship. John Cena agrees. This leads to a match. The match ended up being in a no contest. It was a great match. A lot of kickouts, them just going back and forth. They end up having some cool spots. You end up having moments where John Cena paying homage to former wrestlers that he wants to face. He ends up paying homage to Kurt Angle, going back to, when John Cena first got into the ring, the viral saying of ruthless aggression. He ends up putting Sammy in an ankle lock. He ends up doing a spear. They end up mentioning Roman Reigns, but they also mentioned Edge. They didn't say his name, but they end up saying the other fellow Canadian. This was really cool. Really enjoyed this match. But it got to a moment where John Cena was hitting an avalanche attitude adjustment. Both wrestlers on the ground. Both wrestlers can't get up. Then you end up getting Brock Lesnar's theme music hits. He comes out to the ring. He ends up attacking Sami Zayn and John Cena, hitting them both with an F5. And that's it. So this was cool, I guess. My only issue is why now? Now, it is confirmed that John Cena and Brock Lesnar are going to face at WrestlePalooza. It is confirmed. But my issue is why now, though? Why did this have to be a match? He comes out. Like, we couldn't have done this sooner. Like, because if this was all you was going to do, you could have done this way sooner. Like, you did not have to wait until now to start building this match. I don't understand it personally. Number two, why have we not got an explanation yet? This is giving me Cody Rhodes and Brock Lesnar vibes. Like, WWE typically does a good job of at least explaining something, even if it don't make sense, they at least explain it. Why are we doing this again? This is the second story in a row that they're about to do with Brock Lesnar, where they're finna just have him attack someone without explaining it. You just did this a few years ago with Cody Rhodes. Now we're doing it with John Cena again. Bro, come on, bro. Like, I want to care about this feud, but it's because I really don't care about Brock Lesnar, but it's already hard for me to care when I don't even care about the wrestler, ain't it? Now you're about to have me not care even more because you won't give me a story. Like, come on, man. Like, this was fun for what it was. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed John Cena's promo with Sami Zayn. Now, this crowd was very pro Cena because anybody that wasn't John Cena was basically getting booed outside of CM Punk, of course. But yeah, because during this promo they was booing Sami Zayn. Now, Sami Zayn did great crowd work by making him cheer eventually, because Sami Zayn did great work by not letting, the fans start on him. He ended up eventually got the fans to start cheering him. But throughout the match, of course, he was getting booed because it's John Cena in a title match. He's going to get booed. It's going to happen. They was booing Cody Rhodes, like not this crowd specifically, but any person that's facing John Cena is going to get booed. It's just how it is. But it was an overall fine segment. I'm just not really interested in the Brock Lesnar stuff because y'all took forever to actually do something with it. And now it's supposed to be a big payoff at WrestlePalooza. It's just like, and you're not going to give us a story. So we'll see how this plays out, though. We end up getting Damian Priest versus Aleister Black. This match was fine. I was very disappointed about this match. I kind of feel like this match should have been a lot better. It wasn't a bad match. It was a decent match. But with these two guys who are this great in the ring, I felt like this match should have been absolute, I wouldn't say a banger, but it should have been a really good match. Towards the end of the match, you end up getting a moment where Aleister Black was holding on to the ref and Damian Priest, because I think Damian Priest had him in like a chokehold or something, so he started holding the referee. Then I think eventually he like pushes the ref or something like that, or he ends up like, I think it was something. He was holding the referee. I know that. Then the referee ends up moving away. He ends up moving away where the referee couldn't see him, and I think he either gouges Damian Priest's eyes out, and then he is hitting his finisher to pick up the victory. This feud, I am just not, it's just so boring. It's so boring and repetitive. It's the same thing over and over again. It's either one or two things happen. One, we have a bunch of vignette packages, no promos. And then two, whenever Aleister Black attacks Damian Priest, it's the same thing of him just doing cheating shenanigans, of him attacking from behind, attacking when Damian Priest is not looking. It's the same thing over and over again. This feud should be a lot better than what it is, but it's not because it's just a repetitive format and a repetitive cycle. I want this feud to be better, and I also hope that Triple H makes them actually be able to wrestle, because in this match they was having Damian Priest be like the underdog in the situation where Aleister Black takes up majority of the offense, and then Damian Priest got to fight for within and come back. Please do not do that next time. Just have them have a match. Just have them do what Sheamus and Rusev do. Just put on banger matches. This match was so hindered by that type of style. It was hindered because why is Damian Priest playing an underdog role? He should not be playing an underdog role against Aleister Black. Aleister Black is more of the underdog in this situation. Damian Priest has done more than Aleister Black ever did in a WWE. So I don't know why they was doing that with this wrestling style. But please, next time, just have them go out, have a match, have them wrestle. These guys are both great in the ring. You do not need to have a specific way for them to wrestle in order to tell that story, because that story was not necessary, because that story just didn't make sense. But hopefully they just go out and just have a match, because these two should be putting on banger matches. We'll see how this plays out, but I am losing more and more interest in this feud. We end up getting a women's United States Championship match between Michin and Julia. This match was okay. It was fine for what it was. You end up getting interferences from Kiana James, which allowed Julia to pick up the victory. Nothing more to really say. She's at least getting on TV, and she's at least having a match, so that's good. It's a match that not that important, doesn't really matter, and I find it funny that they finally gave her a match on the same day that, of course, CM Punk, Brock Lesnar, and the special surprise at the end, so I don't really so I find it weird that they now decide to do this, but it is what it is. I would say I'm interested to see what's next, but I'm really not, so let's just see how this plays out. Now we get the main event. We get Becky Lynch, CM Punk. They was cutting a promo. They end up basically redoing what they did on Monday Night Raw, which I don't like, because I get why they did it to a degree, but I just didn't like it. I didn't like that they redid the whole Becky Lynch slapping. Now, because I typically criticize WWE for having women hit men. Last week with Monday Night Raw, I didn't criticize that only because I didn't mind it, because it actually furthered a storyline in that situation. This situation didn't further anything, because at least last week, it at least built up to the hype of AJ Lee. This week, you didn't really need to do it. You didn't need to do it on SmackDown. I don't understand why. That I have to criticize, because that just didn't make no sense to me. But it led to basically CM Punk ends up mentioning he got backup, he has people he can call, and this eventually led to AJ Lee finally returning to WWE. She's finally back. She's finally back. She ends up attacking Becky Lynch. She's finally back. It finally happened. You guys have been waiting for this for over a decade of you constantly making predictions that she's coming back. You guys finally are right after 10 years. It's finally happening. It's finally here. I can't wait to see what they do. Now, I know most likely, I'm assuming this is probably just going to be a one-time thing. I am not going to assume that she's going to be back full-time. She's about to be at WrestleMania. I'm not assuming that. But I'm going to assume this is probably going to be a one-time feud, one-time thing, probably at WrestlePalooza. Maybe if they could stretch it out, maybe. But I'm not going to assume she's going to be there for the long term. But I'm interested in this, and I like what they're doing here. I like this. I can't wait to see that mixed tag match, because I'm assuming that's where we're going with this. A mixed tag match between CM Punk, Seth Rollins versus AJ Lee and CM Punk. And Becky Lynch. I don't think I named Becky Lynch, but this is very interesting. Can't wait to see how this plays out. I'm assuming it's probably going to be CM Punk and AJ Lee winning, because you kind of have to have the wins based off the story, but also it's AJ Lee. She just returned. This is one of the biggest returns in WWE history, so I can't wait to see how this plays out. I'm very interested to see any back and forth promos. I'm hoping that we get back and forth promos between her and Becky Lynch. I'm hoping they do not give us that. You got to give us back and forth promos between Becky Lynch. You got to give us all of AJ Lee. AJ Lee is back. You got to give us all of it, okay? You got to have her cut promos, have her in backstage segments. You need to have her interact with we need everything. We need to have her in every segment constantly on everything, okay? So I'm interested to see how this plays out. The overall show was fine. It was a good show, mainly due to the opening and closing. Everything in the middle was mediocre. I'm just gonna be honest. So I would give it a good show overall, but mainly because of course, AJ Lee returning and then the opening segment. But you guys let me know your overall thoughts and opinions down below. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe. But yeah, that's it.